Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining this very interesting session on a unique topic. Um, so, I welcome you all to this session. And to start the session, I'll give a small, brief introduction on the guest of honor, I would say, uh, to Dr. Ajay Datta. Well, to be honest, I was finding it very difficult to give a very brief introduction about Dr. Ajay Datta, but I will make my best attempt on it. Dr. Ajay Datta is a young techno-commercial founder and CEO of multiple technology companies. Dr. Ajay is a graduate of Rajasthan University and an MBA in computer science from Newport University, USA. He also obtained his PhD from Netherlands in electronic data processing. Making a modest start in 1999 as Rajasthan's first private ISP, his company rapidly expanded its line of business in these areas of e-governance, software products, turnkey IT solutions, and mobile technologies. Recently, his company, Data XGen Technologies, got global recognition for bringing in the first of its kind IDN email, supporting email addresses in Hindi, Gujarati, Tamil, Arabic, Cyrillic, and 15 other languages. He also became the first Indian to be nominated for CCNSO Council of ICANN, where 170 countries are members. He was also the first Indian to become chairman of the Universal Acceptance Steering Group, having more than 450 plus members globally. He contributes generously to the society with his philanthropic interests, ranging from being a member of Hasya Kavi Sammelan to being trustee of Citizen Forum of the city that he lives in, which is Jaipur. The long list of the awards and recognition actually has 37 line items, which I'm sure I wouldn't want to list it out, but for the sake of brevity, I'll list some of them. And it includes Certificate of Excellence presented by the Honorable Minister of Communication, Government of India, Excellence Award by Rajasthan Productivity Council, IT Excellence Award by Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India. I request uh, I request now Sandeep Nulkar to take over and begin the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sudhin, and welcome, Dr. Rita. It's honestly always such a pleasure to speak to you. Every time we have met and whenever I've heard you speak, even during our USG India chapter meetings or on any other platforms, I'm actually so amazed at the amount of knowledge, experience, and expertise you have on a wide range of topics. So, in fact, I totally agree with Sudhin that CV, the profile is almost a mile long. That's what I was telling someone this morning. But yeah, so I think we thought we should speak to you, dip into your pool of knowledge, experience, and expertise, and find out more about this one topic, universal acceptance, that I know you're very, very passionate about, and that you always encourage the industry to understand and address. And I thought this would be a good opportunity, for translation, for the translation and localization industry to understand the topic and see how they can use it to create a market differentiator. I think I also want to put this on record that to my mind and to my knowledge, this is the first time ever that a translation industry platform is being used to talk anything related to universal UA compliance in general. So I think that's a good start that probably we are making. So yeah, just to lay the context of what we are going to talk today. So over the past few years, everyone has been talking so much, about how we are going to need exponentially more content to cater to the next 500 million non-English speaking Indians that have come online. And some credible reports published by extremely credible companies support these projections. But the question really is, would content, and be it text, voice, or video, be really enough to integrate the next 500 million non-English speaking Indians in the digital economy? Does the ecosystem not need to take into account many more factors? And it is when one starts thinking in that direction that, to my mind, the importance of something like universal acceptance comes to the fore. I mean, how can you really provide a completely localized experience to every Indian in their language if the issue of UA has not been addressed? So I would like to start by asking you a very simple question on behalf of our audience. What exactly is universal acceptance, and why is it important?
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Suchenji, for telling so much about me. This is not about me. This is about, obviously, a very important topic which we all are in. And Sandeep has asked me a very important question. I am very pleased and happy to talk to you because you are talking first time about UA, which is an extremely important futuristic journey which we are trying to get into. So I'm going to share my screen with a small context setting for all of you. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
So how many of you know Neo-Brahmi generation panel? Anybody?
I doubt, as in.
No. So you should read about it. It's going to be a little bit of more knowledge than what you expected. Neo-Brahmi generation panel, I was the chair of, is a enabler for a linguistic internet that created the rules for domain names in every language of India. How do you decide that what character should be allowed in a domain name, what not? The rule is required. So मात्रा कहाँ पर आएगी, हलंत कहाँ पर आएगा, डॉट कहाँ पर आएगा, वो अलाउ होना चाहिए नहीं होना चाहिए, सिक्योरिटी पर्सपेक्टिव से क्या होना चाहिए. All those things are required, that we need to ensure that the securities are not security issues are not created, and there are confusability, similarity, all those things. All the rules were created by this. So approximately 70 of us from all over India joined hand together. It's a voluntary effort under ICANN banner. And not only India, then Sri Lanka was roped in, Bangladesh was roped in, and Nepal was roped in, because they all use our scripts. So all those, and when you are creating a rule for a script, then you cannot ignore that region, because obviously Bangladesh has to give their inputs for Bangla, and Sri Lanka has to give their values for Sinhala, and Tamil, and Nepal for Devanagari. Like that, they have to give all those inputs, and they all came into those discussions. I am happy to share that all those rules were approved. We almost spent 2.5 years with approximately 48 physical meetings and virtual meetings, and the rules were created, and all volunteer. Okay, and this has enabled us to have all Indian scripts into the root servers. Just remember that they are available in root servers. I'm going to tell you the importance of it once we go into UA. These are the examples of the domain names. And they are not just written like a keyword or a character. These are all a valid domain name. Sudhinji, if you will type Rajasthan.Bharat, you will have a website.
Very nice.
These all domain names are available right now live. आप सब लोग अपने लिए बना सकते हैं, and ये एक opportunity है, what we call them IDN, internationalized domain name. What I was just telling you right now before, that root server में Indian languages जा चुकी हैं, that meant that .Bharat, the rules are created for top level domain name. So once you are seeing as an example, Rajasthan.Bharat, as an example, it is a full domain name. Every domain name has two parts of it divided by a dot. The right side of the dot is known as top level domain name. The left side of the dot is known as second level domain name. So I'm going to use those phrases more. So I'm just setting the context for knowledge. The right side of the dot is known as top level domain name. Left side of the dot is known as second level domain name. When we create the rules for internet, the first rules are required for top level domain name. That is dot whatever, dot Bharat. So if you want that I must have dot Sudhin, for example, or dot Sandeep, it is possible in Devanagari or Marathi or whatever language you want. And people could, and this is the future which is getting created, getting ready. That is what I want to tell you all, that this is what Neo Brahmi Generation Panel has created for the country. That you could register a top level domain name of your choice.
Wonderful.
Before I come to UA, let me tell you the scope of the opportunity and make all of you a visionary in the future. But to do that, we have to go 30 years before. So imagine a word, just imagine a word by closing your eyes for 30 seconds and imagine that there is no Google, there is no Facebook, there is no Zoom, there is no internet, there is no mobile phone, there is no Android, then there is no iOS. Somebody in the world is thinking to create .com, .net, a top level domain name. Somebody was thinking that.
Correct.
30 years before, when there was no Wi-Fi, nothing.
Correct.
That he was thinking that there is a requirement of a name. Just imagine the internet without the names. There is nothing. That names was conceived 30 years before. I will not go to the entire journey. The result is in front of us. We are sitting on a world's most powerful invention which has changed the world, that is internet. And that relies on names. Now the new internet is getting shaped up. That is a language-based internet. Somebody started thinking in 1997 that why can't we have a language-based internet? Why it should be in English? And the rules started getting created, rules started getting formed, and a term IDN got conceptualized, internationalized domain name, which means a domain name other than English characters, other than Latin characters, a domain name in your own script. And that is where the concept was thought of and the standards started getting formulated. That resulted into a government of India having launched .Bharat in 2014. Today, you all should know that you couldn't register a domain name of your choice under .Bharat in all the Indian languages, all Indian official languages, 22. You can register.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And these domain names are available today online without talking to anybody. You can register them today. And you all should have one, because that is the depiction of your love towards language and promoting it. And this is a very good example I wanted to give you why the Neo Brahmi Generation Panel was required. Can you tell me by seeing it, which is Devanagari or which is Gurumukhi?
The left side is Gurumukhi.
Right, Sandeep? Right? The question is, if you don't see one, then you will not know. And even if you know and as an expert, a common man may get confused because of the similarity. So now the rules are, which we have created, that if you register .thug in Gurumukhi, you will not get in Devanagari automatically.
Okay.
So we have created a similarity index. So just imagine the amount of work which has gone into that. Each character in each language has been mapped in all the 22 languages and saw the similarity and refused them to be registered if one has taken that.
Wow.
This is the amount of work has gone into. And the rules were created. Then rules have to be created in an XML format which can be understood by the root servers. So while registering, they throw an error. We do not leave it to the registrars. So now the global internet is secured from the phishing attacks, from the similarity, from the all common people do not get trapped into. That is the importance I wanted to tell you.
Wonderful.
Now I am coming to, yes.
The email address part of it, because universal acceptance is to do with your TLDs, top level domains, as well as your email addresses being available in your own language.
So this is why I was telling you the importance and the source of the development, but it created a problem also. And that is where the universal acceptance comes into picture. So universal acceptance, Sandeep, the problem came is entire internet started 30 years before. So the software developers started thinking when they were building applications, the top level domain name could have only 3 characters after the dot, and that too in English. And they wrote the software that way to validate everything.
Right.
But suddenly some people are thinking more, but they were not software developers, they were standard makers. And they started thinking, why not to have an internet in more than 3 characters domain name and a domain name in a language of person's choice. So 2 problems came up. One, a top level domain name need not to be just .com. It could be .professional, .accountant, .doctor, and why not .sandeep? It is possible in English. And now the new problem that Sandeep need not to be in English itself. Sandeep could be in Devanagari and Tamil and Telugu, whatever. So now the rules which were written in the software or the hardware devices started breaking the internet. Because as a person, I had a valid domain name, which is data.bharat, but suddenly a website will say it is an invalid domain name because somewhere the code has been written for accepting only English domain name as a valid character or 3 characters after the dot, whatever the case may be. That is where all the companies of the world, including Microsoft, Google, Apple, or you name the company, who are global companies, joined hand together and formed a consortium of the companies under the ICANN banner, Universal Acceptance Steering Group, with a vision that all domain names and all email addresses works equally in all the applications. That's the mission.
So, can you also throw some light on, the steps some of the advanced non-English speaking countries have taken in the direction of UA compliance? As in, those in my mind would be trendsetters in a sense. They might have somebody like, say, a France or a Germany might have started taking these efforts probably a little earlier than when India started. So, what efforts have they really, what steps have they really taken?
I will come to that. So universal acceptance, thank you for asking this. I will share this point. This is the vision. So now, Sudhinji, when you read about me about the UA chair, this is a 2-year-old story when there were 400 people. In March 13th, that is this month itself, again the election happened. I again became the chair unopposed for next 2 years. And we are now 602 members.
Wonderful.
Worldwide.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So we have 600 people and you all should become part of it. because there is going to be something to take out of it. I am going to share with you how do you become part of it. Doesn't take cost anything, but you will have a global knowledge what's going on there. The mission is very simple, that provide mobile software application developers get their products UA ready by providing the documents, encouragement, case studies, and expertise, and obviously they can then deliver all the experience to the end users. Basically, the end goal is to bring next billion people online. To answer Sandeep and to all of you, to give you a perspective of the importance, out of top 10 countries as per the GDP, top 10, 7 do not depend on English. I am again repeating. Top 10 countries in the world as per GDP, 7 do not depend on English. Japan, China, Russia are the common examples which you can immediately understand. English is not the success story of the world. English has shaped our mind as a success story, but not the fact. The key here is the languages, whatever you are comfortable in. Before I go to more specific on Sandeep's question, let me share you a story. I went to China or Russia, and I launched my Russian email address there in 1999 December. There was a press conference, and I had a partner there who was sitting in front of me, with me, and I started my press conference in English. And then he whispers me that press people are saying that I should translate it in Russian. And he translated everything. So my press conference was, I was speaking and then pausing, then he was speaking, and then I was speaking. So my press conference converted like somebody had a translation. The same guy who objected on my English, that reporter, took my interview in English later on. What I'm going to tell is that these guys know English, but they love their language. They don't accept that no English on a public forum. And they will use primarily their native language as much as they can. It is just convenient, good, and they can work. Obviously, he could not talk to me in Russian because I don't know Cyrillic language. He talked to me in English later, but he knew, he could have heard that also at that time, but he didn't. The key here is we should also get rid of mind of that English is not the future, languages is the future. Another thing which I want to tell you is Government of India, you must be all aware probably, has come out with a national language mission. What does it mean? It's a $1 billion opportunity for all of you. Why? Government of India's all the policies will be converted, all the websites will be converted in the regional language. That's the purpose. Translation, direct business. But translation is going to be on the content. What about the domain name? That is where the universal acceptance comes into picture. What about the email address? How do you reach out to a person who do not know English at all? That is where universal acceptance need to be implemented and an opportunity for all of you. And this is the slide which you should remember. These are the 5 pillars of universal acceptance. 5 words: accept, validate, store, process, and display. So let us say I go to Sandeep Nunkar's company's website today, right? And I type in my email address for the newsletter. Will I be able to type in my email address there as ajay@data.bharat? If it accepts, it means it has passed the first test. If it allows me to type in, it passed the first test. When I say submit for registration, it must validate it is correct. It should not reject. If it does that, it passed the second test. Then store it well. Then send me the newsletter to process it, and then display that my email address whenever I want it back as a registration or my email ID. If you do all that thing together and process it well, all the 5 pillars, you are UA ready. This is the test you have to do for every website you work for to make it UA ready. 5 pillars. And that is where the opportunity also comes in. So about UA, and then we will move to the discussion further. Universal acceptance has these people where we
Yes.
go and influence. These are the people: technology enablers, developers, email software service providers, individuals and organizations, and government policymakers. These are the people we address them. Go together. You are a very important crowd. Very, very important. Because you are influencers. You go and talk to the people for their own language, and they cannot move further without you if they have to address in the languages, in the regional languages. They don't have the expertise. So you become a very high level of influencer for us to go back and talk about UA to the customers you deal with, and also make more money from that same customer because you know more. The key here is to know more and suggest the global practices correctly. These are the working groups. So I was telling you, there is a website called for universal acceptance, uasg.tech. I will repeat, uasg.tech is the website name. Universal Acceptance Steering Group is the full form .tech. If you go to that website, you will have an option to register for these working groups. You can join those working groups very easily. There is no selection criteria. So do not worry about rejection. You will be accepted only because we want to spread knowledge. You will become part of it, of a global organization, of a working group. And if you participate 2 years later, you can even become a leader in that working group. That is also not a problem. Right? And this is what is working groups, which technology working group. EAI is email address related. Measurement, where we manage. Communication is where we plan and create documents for PR, blogs and everything. Local initiatives is where me and Sandeep work together with FICCI and local initiatives. And we have brand ambassadors and UA ambassadors working group. And Sandeep, because I know you, so I can tell you that if you start looking at UA a little more closely, you can be our ambassador in India for UA. There are 3. We would like to have very committed, solid people like you. So if you are have some time to give to UA, please consider this. And this is for everyone. Anybody who is interested to give something to your universal acceptance, then you can participate in that. Yeah. My light has gone. So 1 second. Let me just switch on some light. So there is a heavy thunder out here.
Oh. So just so that everyone knows, Dr. Data is based in Rajasthan. So when he says thunderous storms, then I think we need to understand where he's coming from.
Yes.
Yeah. No, fine. It's okay. As in, till you switch on the light, we can still go ahead and.
Can you see that? Can you see me now?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Very well. Very well.
So nowadays, every Indian or every person in the world has a camera and the flash at least.
Very true. Very true.
So it works.
So I actually had a sub question to that, in the sense, of course, all these things that you have explained, I'm sure a lot of other countries have non-English speaking countries primarily must have taken the initiative India specific, can you just highlight a couple of things that the government of India or we in India are doing to quickly change how the internet looks to Indians?
Yes, I can. One thing has happened very clearly. So let me finish this last presentation.
Sure.
So this is the last slide which is there. So more important thing for all of you is that data mail and core mail to install an app. So all of you can have a data mail app. It is available on iPhone and Android both, and you can get an email address in a language of your choice completely free, and you can try this out. So once you have that email address, then you can try out how your website looks like, whether it is UA ready or not. And when you communicate with your customers, can you communicate with them on that email ID? It's a more better reflection of your love towards language, and of course communicating in a language of your choice. So this is the presentation I have to share with all of you. And now we can have questions related to what Sandeep ji has said. So let me tell you what has happened in language front in India. One thing I shared with you, the government of India invested heavily to bring in domain names in the language of your choice in 2014. 2014 to 2016, nothing happened. The reason was very simple, because there was no email capability possible on those domains in that time. So we took also an initiative in 2014 to build a solution which can provide an email address in a language of person's choice. And when we started working on that, we were surprised that nobody in the world, no one in the world has this capability to provide a email address on a other than English domain. We started doing a research on this, and we cracked the code, worked the technology, and we came out with the world's first domain email address solution for domain names other than English. That gave the life to the domain names. Obviously, you can't have a domain name without the email address. It is it's nothing. So you have to have the power of communication with that. And that is where the word started changing. We were not also aware which zone we were entering into. So we started working on, so now our solution offers all the Indian languages plus 7 global languages, including Chinese, including Russia, including Japanese, including Korean, including Sri Lanka, including Spanish. Have all those languages now, and we can do any language now. So we have enabled now 200,000 Unicode characters into our system. So now all those characters are now compatible in our system. 200,000. So 2 lakh character चाहिए Unicode support करना है तो, और English चाहिए तो 255. So you have to have a quantum jump basically, if you have to do that. So coming to Sandeep, your point, this was a very crucial point to give us a start, right? It was an enabler. Then we built the solution. So obviously now you have a fight of a demand and a supply, right? No matter how good technology you build, if there is no demand, then what do you do?
Okay.
And we were at that situation because nobody saw that email before. Nobody saw that domain name before. So there is no automatic taker. So we had to struggle almost 1.5 years to tell everybody that it is possible now. And the people will not even listen. Then we launched our data mail to tell them that you try yourself, try it free, experience it yourself. All those things happening. And first thing is, because I am from Rajasthan, so Chief Minister heard me in one of the talks, and she decided that we will enable, the government of Rajasthan will enable the Rajasthan citizens. I am happy to share that we have 70 lakh email addresses in Hindi in Rajasthan.
Wow.
70 lakh. And this is a huge journey which we have gone into. These people are, most of them never experienced email before. They never had an email ID. Even if they had an email ID, they did not knew it. Because somebody just registered for them or opened for them or signed up for them in an Android phone, but they never knew. So now they had the plan of having an email ID with Government of Rajasthan. So it gave us two things. An email ID which is secured and protected by Government of Rajasthan, completely free. So you are not going out of your comfort. Somebody is attacking you, and it is a very highly secured, because it works only with a mobile number. It doesn't work without the mobile number and Aadhaar card registration. So nobody can, put you in a fix. So you can't get Sandeep Nulkar email ID at Gmail, and nobody knows who is Sandeep Nulkar, because at Gmail doesn't give anything. Sandeep Nulkar can be anybody, right? In Rajasthan, because you are registered with Aadhaar card, your first name and last name comes from there. You can't fudge that email ID. And that is where the security comes into play. And you are who you are, which is validated by Aadhaar directly. So it created a very secured environment and a network from that perspective. And that is where.
And I think it also gives identity, as in you feel a sense of belongingness once you can relate to your own email address.
Sandeep, I can talk to 2 hours about it. And trust me, the amount of stories I have, and the amount of tears I have seen, amount of pride I have seen, it is unimaginable. Suddenly a mother can get an email from a well-literate child sitting in America, and he gets a written context in his email. She preserves and sees it. And I came to know when she showed it to the Chief Minister. Rani Saha, aapne hamara zindagi change kar diya. Then Chief Minister tells me, see, this is how you transform your citizens. Right? There are many stories which we can keep on going. So to cut the story short, basically it is a transformative process which is happening. And do not forget the 30-year-old story. We are in the same process. It will not take 30 years. It will take 5 years. Yeah. But who takes that step today and become the part of that mission is going to earn the fruits. The transformation happens very fast in today's time. It doesn't happen in decades. It happens in months and years. Second thing, which is very important, is that I already shared with you, National Language Mission. It's a huge project by Government of India. I think all of you should be celebrating this, that this is what has happened as a business opportunity for all of you. This is so much is coming that you all will together will not be able to fulfill it. So much. This is such a big opportunity because it is in every language, every policy, every case, every document is going to be translated.
Right.
Even the past. So you can say if government decides 10-year history, imagine the number of documents need to be translated. And they need to be hosted. Then they need to be put into some context, making them searchable, using the right practices, using the right codes. Lot. Then the websites. Just document translation not enough. Then you need to create a website. How do you create a website then? Then you need to start writing those content there also. So there's a lot which is coming up. You just need to tap into at the right place in your region and the Government of India level. Keep an eye open for this. This all will be enabled with universal acceptance. If we do not solve the problem, we will earn less fruits out of this opportunity. Because ultimately, if the government objective is to take this policy to the people who could not read English.
Correct.
Those who read English, this is not the requirement, right? Why do you create a document in Marathi for a person who knows English already?
Right.
The objective is to take it to the person who do not know English and only knows Marathi. So they take him to that. That is the purpose. They want to create those policy documents and everything in that language. And then the domain name, the website, and then the email address, everything will come together and will form a very formidable opportunity for all of us, for all of you who are directly into the language world.
Correct.
Definitely.
So I think my next couple of questions are going to be related directly to around this point, and irrespective of how many people are attending right now, I know that a lot more people also access the recording later on. So I think it's also important that we put this out on record. My question around this is what exactly, as in from a translation industry perspective, a language service provider, how can they actually use UA compliance consulting? And by UA compliance consulting, I mean language service companies going back to their customers and talking to them, educating them about UA, trying to help them understand the importance of their applications, web or mobile applications being UA compliant. How can that be used as a market differentiator? And can you kind of make it very easy for us and give us a step-by-step approach कि पहले आप ये कर सकते हो, बाद में ये करो. So how do you speak to your customers? Some of them might have in-house technical expertise. Some of them might not have in-house technical expertise. So how do you talk to your customers?
Sandeep, normally these kind of consulting, people call E&Y and KPMGs and pay them thousands of dollars. Right? But let me tell you, jokes apart, this is a very good question and a very important one for all of us. At the end of the day, we need to have business. This time which we are spending today should convert into some results for us. Who does not like more customers? Do you know anybody? You will not know. You all like more customers, right? If you all like more customers, your customers also like more customers.
Right.
So first thing we need to tell them, do you want more customers? If yes, you are ignoring them. Choose language as a front end. Those people who do not know English are not able to communicate to you because your website is in English. Your domain name is in English. You are missing them. You are missing them today, and if you do not solve that, you are miss them more in future. It is important to be ready. Get ready.
So I think what you're saying, and just to simplify it, just putting out content in Indian languages is not important because that content will still reside on your website. And if as an Indian I do not know how to read an English script, then I don't know how to read your URL, which itself
Absolutely.
being in Indian languages is a facilitator. As a second level, if I can then go on your website, probably use an Indian language email address and register for your say newsletter and receive something in my own language, that then completes the entire experience, which pretty much is the experience of say a French person or a German person. They don't really see English anywhere in their entire experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Sandeep, another thing, an opportunity. You have large customers. So I will tell you, you open an ad newspaper tomorrow, any regional newspaper or an English newspaper, and an English newspaper see a regional language ad. In that ad, two things you will find still in English: a domain name and email address.
Okay.
So why you have this ad in a regional language, and why you don't have the domain name and email ad in that language?
Okay.
That is where the point is, right? It's a self-justified point. The question is, you need to just tell them on his face, you don't know, I know it. I know it. It's the knowledge which I will bring on the table. Increase my translation charges to 30%, please. It is as simple as that. So it's an opportunity. I was just trying to say that this is an opportunity of knowledge, telling your customers no. Now the next step is how. Because by just telling, let us say a customer agrees, okay, Sudhin ji मेरा आप करा दीजिए, I love the idea. Sudhin ji कहने अब क्या है, अब कहाँ जाऊंगा मैं, right? If you don't know the whole story, then again you are stuck. So the idea is that we all need to empower ourselves. And let me give you an opportunity, and I think Sarika is here in this list somewhere. You should talk to Sarika and do a workshop for this entire community on how part, how to start from a domain registration to the hosting to getting an email address and complete the cycle. And why not to have the full 1 hour, 1.5 hour, and it will not take more than an hour or 1.5 hour. In a 1.5 hour, how do we make a website live on a Hindi domain name with an email address? That is what we all should know.
Correct.
At least the journey. And that will be the fantastic journey. And then video which you all create can then share with everybody else who cannot join. So how should be also controlled? So the opportunity lies in a knowledge, not in real spent of money. The real spent of money in just few thousand rupees. But the charges you will get in lakhs of rupees because it's a knowledge. And then the transformative thing comes up. Once you have a website, Sandeep, in a Hindi, let us say a Hindi domain name and a Hindi email address, then the new opportunities come in. What are those opportunities? That your CRM requires a new set of data. Your accounting requires a new set of data. And then you will get into more translation business because everything needs to be translated there. So if they need to really adopt the translation as a new process into their business and everything.
Right.
Software process will come in, but the translation will again come in. The mobile apps, everywhere it has to be shown in that language, right? So that language effort will go more and more and more. So I believe there's a large opportunity if we go step by step and be prepared for telling the story and then completing the story by how to do it.
I think that's actually a great idea, and I would love to do a session on the how part, because that actually would give us step by step, so to say, guide for language service providers to see how they can really monetize this or create a bigger market differentiator using UA compliance consulting as a service. But I think we'll definitely take up that idea. Just one last question I have for you, because I think we're also kind of running out of time. Is this technically a very scary process? As in, do you need to have an in-house IT team? As in, I'm just thinking on behalf of some translation companies who probably might not have in-house IT capabilities, but they might know someone who is an IT service provider. So is it okay to not have an in-house IT, so to say, expertise team and still be able to, work with people to ensure that you are in a position to offer this kind of a consulting service as well as an probably execution service to the customers who you are willing, who are willing to go that distance and make their applications UA compliant?
No problem in that. I don't think we shall ever worry about Sandeep for anything here related to the technology world. If he is not, he will come to you. He will come to Sudhinji. He will come to somebody else. It is, things are difficult till you have not done it. Once you have done it, it becomes everyday thing. So I would say for somebody who has not written a language line, a domain name, for example, is a very difficult thing. Now you guys know that there is a domain name possible and available in just 400 rupees today to register.
Correct.
How long it takes to register a domain name today? And I'm sure somebody will register just now and have your name blocked for your own company, for your own name. So, and godil.in, godil.in is a website name, which is my website name. If you want to go, you can register a website, a domain name of your language choice, and this is the only site where you will get a free email address on the domain name of the language. That is the reason I told you, so that you can experience it a full and yourself, and tell, when you tell to your customer, part of your proposal, part of your experience, you can tell them that this is how the things look like. You may create your own web page, sandeepnulkar.bharat. I am just sharing with you why it should not be like this. Tell me. And your profile and your work and whatever communication you have, just put it on sandeepnulkar.bharat and make it part of your web, your visiting card. Isn't it great? And trust me, UA is one site. Me as an Indian is very proud of that name, because I am getting an opportunity to use .bharat with my domain name. Isn't it great even from that perspective? So use .bharat and domain name of your choice and have an email ID. I think we all can leverage on that new opportunity, leverage on that bigger internet which is coming up, and get ready for future. Get ready for a huge future opportunity. Our children will love us if we do it well.
Absolutely. No, I think this really completes the picture. UA is something that will complete the picture, because just localized content is not enough. And I know I've been part of the USG meetings where so much discussion happens, and a lot of it is technical. But I do take away a lot of important things from such meetings, and I know that there are so many questions that I have not asked, and I know you were not joking when you said you could speak for hours on this. So I know it's a very big topic. Something as simple as, and probably this is not something we can even hope to cover today, but a simple question that could come to anyone's mind, that using your own example, if I do have a website like sandeepnulkar.bharat in Devanagari, how will a European person access that website? Because then you have reversed the problem, because they don't then know how to read Devanagari. But I know there is a technical answer to that, and of course you have that answer. But this is something that made me believe that your idea is actually worth taking up, and we should do a session on the how part of it. Probably with the India ambassador, UA ambassador, we'll probably dive with them or anyone you suggest, and we can do a very, very detailed session on that for the language industry. But yeah, it's really been very, very great talking to you. I don't know whether there are some questions that we can squeeze in. I can see a lot of stuff being posted on the group here. So maybe.
Sandeep, but I want to tell you one thing, and
Sure.
tell you all of you. Like, by going to the gym once in a month will not help you.
Right.
Taking a bath once in a month will not also help you.
Yeah.
You have to do it every day.
Yes.
You have to do UA every day.
Correct.
If you want to leverage the benefit. By having one event will not also help you.
Right.
So you need to have a continuity of UA events.
Right.
To the community, and bring this thing again and again. I am happy to come back and talk to the more people and see where you have specific questions and a solution to take this stuff further and leverage the opportunity. We have to remember that we have to do it more often.
Sure.
Whatever we just do once in a month, once in 2 months, it just becomes a good talk. Right? It does not go into our system.
Right.
And that's the fact. It has to go into the system. वो जब तक हम रोज आप देखो कि कोरोना की धुन सुन करके भी लोग अभी तक समझे नहीं है. Right? In spite of getting repeated every day. This is the reason. It has to be told every day. It has to be told many times. And it's extremely important that people see this opportunity today. Tomorrow morning, you all will be very busy. And the priorities of daily routine will take over everything. And then it just goes in a back door. The key here is to bring it to the forefront, bring it to the opportunity and a priority, and take it further. That is going to be a very leveraging opportunity for all of you.
So I'm going to end on a note that probably helps people take away something from what you said. I'm just going to probably make it simpler for that conversation to begin. If everyone here can just use something like, is your are all your applications UA compliant? As a question in your email signature, maybe 1 out of 10 clients will come back and ask you, I keep seeing this all the time, what exactly is UA compliance? And that's where the conversation can start. That's probably the number of mails you send out every day. Those are the number of people who would be looking at UA compliance as a set of words that keep hitting them. And someday someone
Very
will
nice.
get curious. So I think that's something
Very well
that
said.
we can do. But yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Data. I'm going to hand it over back to Sudhin in case there are a couple of questions and if we can squeeze in anything. Or just
So I am not seeing any questions from the audience, but a lot of compliments and acknowledgements to Dr. Ajay Datta on what the knowledge that you shared. It's really, I would say, futuristic. So, but I had a question, and if you can briefly answer it. One of the big challenges when you're working with languages is the inability of general people to punch in the keys in that language. Let's say, for example, if you ask me, can I type my own name in Hindi? Maybe I'll find it difficult to do it. Though I have practiced it, so maybe I'll be able to do it. But generally, people cannot type their own name in the local language. Now, is it something that you have considered? Was this something that is being considered as a challenge in UA adoption?
You have bring a very persistent question, and I can give you a 30-second answer. And that's the reason I told you that we shall not end this discussion in just one session. We should discuss this in a more detailed way. But I will answer you, Sudhinji. There is a lot of problems which will come in when you start discussing.
Very true.
The key here is this was true even for translation. How do you convert a crocodile and write it crocodile in Hindi perfectly or in Marathi? Magarmach kaise likha jayega? Or whatever. These are all problems, but you have overcome. The word is changing. Word is changing. When you talk about the languages market and a futuristic market, when we talk about non-English, they are very different than you and me are. They don't know English at all. So they think other way around. How do I type gmail.com? Never thought for them.
Yes.
We never thought for them. Still we are thinking for ourselves. You never thought for them. How do they type your domain name? Right? It's a huge word. India has 89% market who do not know writing and reading at the same time in that language. 89% as per the government census. Only 11% people can write and read in English in India.
Wow.
So whom you are talking about? You are talking about the problem of 11%. 89% people do not know English A. So let us solve the problem for them. They don't want to communicate on gmail.com. They are perfectly happy that if they have sarkar.bharat as a domain name or sandeepnulkar.bharat as a domain name and communicate with Sandeep, they are perfectly happy with that. They do not know sandeepnulkar.com at all. And they don't want to cross communicate also. They are interested in their own language. Secondly, the problem of typing. Those who know only one language, they type in that language already, in that language only. The problem is with us, because we are more Angraj than in our language. So we prefer to communicate as a primary, at least in a social crowd and a business market in English. Maybe we will not talk to the same language at home, but this is the language which we communicate in business. This is English. And that has forced us to always think in English first and then solve the regional problem or language problem. But this is not the true case for the person who talk only in his native language.
Right.
Very
Lead
well
us
said.
in this. For us,
Very well.
for us, the solution is different. For us, the solution is voice, not typing. The word is changing voice to text,
Correct.
and it is maturing very fast. We are not there, we should be, but it is changing very, very fast. So the new internet is going to be driven more on voice, not by typing.
Wonderful.
That's the future.
Wonderful.
So when you will
Wonderful.
type in search, you will say जवाहर नगर जाना है. That's all. मुझे जयपुर से दिल्ली लेके चलो, and you are done, right? You need not to know English at all. You need not to type in Hindi at all. You will dictate your entire language, and trust me, I dictate my all emails by voice in Hindi, all of them, and do little bit of corrections by Hindi to Hindi, English to Hindi keyboard on my mobile. My key here is we have to start thinking like we don't know English. You will find almost all the answers yourself.
Very well said. Very well said. Great answers. Thank you, Ajayji. It was really, I would say, a very, very knowledgeable session. I mean, practically everything that you said was absolute new information for me. And I'm sure to all the participants, it would have been a very, very, I would say, a hugely learning experience. Thank you very much, Ajayji. It was really wonderful having you with us, and I thank you for taking the time out. And thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Rita.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, audience, for being with us, and I'm sure you would have all enjoyed this the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.